Hello, I am Hina Vadva from IT department. I am here to present the lecture on Agile software development under the MOOC lecture series. In today's lecture, I am going to introduce the Agile software development method, the history of the Agile software development method, and the difference between the Waterfall traditional development method and the latest Agile software development, the benefit of Agile software, and the manifesto which is designed through the Agile software development, and the benefit of this method, what is the role of Agile software development in the latest technologies. First, I will start with the Agile. Agile is a very well-known development methodologies. This approach is the choice of the many teams and the development teams because it follows the iterative and the incremental approach. This is a group of software development methods, and in which the client's interaction between the developing teams is very frequent. That's why we call it as the incremental and iterative approaches. Through which we are providing the solutions to the client on the basis of collaboration between the self-organizing and the teams which are working on the softwares. It promotes the regular delivery of the product, as well as it work on the functionality on the framework of foreseen framework, where the client can change the requirement. The client can give the requirement not only in the starting of the project, they can also change the requirement, whatever the need is changes, they can change the requirement in the duration of the development processes. This is an incremental and iterative approach. Why we call it as an incremental and iterative approach? Because in this, every phase is delivering us some products. The product which is designed by the teams which follows the Agile methodologies. Iterative development and increment development is the heart of these Agile software development scenarios. In the initial planning stage, when we receive the requirements are not fixed. The client can change these requirement within the time and within the phases of the increment process of this project. Mostly the rational unified process, extreme programming are generally various Agile development or software development framework which follows these technologies and methodologies. This is a similar process where plan, do, check and act is a follow for the business improvement. The plan where the planning phase is going on, how we can progress this, how we can generate these softwares, and how can we provide the solution to the problem of clients. We are working on this, and we can check this for further changes or for the increment, as well as we can prepare some action plans to make it in the progress manner. This is actually the very high level of collaboration, because it involves team members with the knowledge of each and every phase of the development, and the team which is prepared is also include the software developers, software testers, as well as the client side, the person who understand the client requirements very well. It is very flexible approach, because I have already told you that whenever the client wants some changes in their projects, it considered as a flexible approach, because we always welcome the requirement which they have delivered us, or they want some new changes in the requirement. We are pleased to implement that requirement in the projects. That is make it very flexible. An iterative environment in which the requirement evolve alongside the when the changes needs. When the client wants some changes, we implement those changes in the projects. An approach that helps the development team across the various industry where the features are changing and the very fast new features are evolving. We can implement those features in the projects. Here, the comparison between the waterfall model and the agile software methodology is the waterfall is a very traditional approach. The waterfall model, the requirement phase, there are number of phases we involved in the waterfall model. In the requirement phase, we collect the requirement from the user side, then the requirement get fixed. We are not able to change the requirement. The clients are not able to change the requirement again and again. After the collecting the requirement, we have to work, we have to start with these requirements. The design approach will follow, and the design approach will design the whole system. Then we perform these requirements into the implementation phase and start developing a new product, start developing the solution for the client's problem. Then in the waterfall model, the next phase where after the developing phase, we can test these products on some methodologies, on some scenarios, and after clearing the test phase, we can implement this phase. This was the actual traditional approach of waterfall model. But all these points which are written are focusing on these. They set the project requirement for the on the reference of the scope of work, then design the product and designing the product which we want to develop, then building the product, testing the product, and the fix the problem which we are facing through the development phase, and launch a finished product, the final product which have cleared all the testing phases is delivered after the finishing the testing of this phase. This diagram is representing how can we compare the waterfall model and agile model. The waterfall model, where the concept is designed from the requirement phases, what the actually customer need from the product, what we have to deliver. The design phase where how the product will look, the designing phase of this product. Then the developing phase, the develop phase is include the coding portions, all the implementation part of that particular product. Then the testing phase, testing when we test these products on different number of testing. Either it can be a unit testing, it can be an integration testing, functionality testing, or the user acceptance testing. On the other hand, the agile is representing an iterative and increment model, where the design phase will start with the designing phase, will go to the development phase, and we test the product. And it is again, we are again repeating this same scenario again and again, because we are representing here an iterative model. Whenever the client want to add some new requirement, the agile software development process will support that methodology and welcome the new requirement from the client. We are trying to implement implement the requirement in this scenario. So the agile and the waterfall model, the main difference is that the requirement and the continuously delivering of the product is in the agile software methodology. But in the waterfall model, the continuous delivery is not there. We are only delivering the product only after when we are completing the testing phase. Only the customer is able to see the product what actually we have developed. The waterfall model required team to stick that requirement because the requirements are fixed. So the software developing team are stick to these requirements, and in the beginning of project, not that requirements are taken from the clients from the beginning of the project, not make any changes, and the additional no other changes, or if the client want to add some new features in the project, they are not able to do that. In the nature, problem would often changes, rendering the planned solution outdated by the time finally go to the market. Maybe there are some cases the client want to develop their shopping website and some another features in their websites, but whenever the product is required, at that time the features and the shopping website is on the boom. That means we required, everybody wants some websites for the shopping purposes. But till the time the shopping website is launched, till the time the mostly shopping websites relaunch their mobile applications for the shopping purposes. That means suppose client A wants these shopping websites, when we deliver after 3 or 4 months that product, that shopping website is not in that demand because the mobile applications are present there against these shopping websites. So the user wants to add some mobile application for these same shopping websites, but they are not able to do that in the waterfall model as the requirements are already fixed. We are not able to change these requirements. The history of Agile, the Agile is developed and planned by some software development team in the year of 2000, when the group of 17 developers decided the changes in the traditional developing approaches. And these product wings recognize some key points why we required these changes. Shortening the delay of benefit to the user, because we want, if the user want the product delivery on the earliest, or they want to add some new features, they are able to do that because it's their product. So they have to follow these methodologies that, like, we are ready to implement these changes in your product. Shortening the delay of benefit to the user in order to resolve the product market fit, and getting the feedback from user quickly to confirm the fullness of the new software and continue to improve it, because we don't want it whenever the requirements are fixed, maybe user wants to change it. So we want a quick delivery of that product, because there are competition in the market, and everybody wants their product at early stage. So they have in the 2000, the Agile methodology comes into the picture. They have developed Agile Manifesto, which is fixing what are the main features and the benefit of this Agile methodology. The group of 17 developers, they have decided this manifesto, and this manifesto is like this. Giving us the same key features: individuals and interaction over the process and tools, working software over the comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over the contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. Let's discuss it one by one. Individual and interactions. Individual and interaction in the Agile process, which was in the traditional model, in the waterfall model, it was a processes and tool. The main focus in the waterfall model, the main focus was what will be the process we follow to develop the product, and what will be the tools we use to develop that product. But in the Agile methodology, the individual and the interactions, the individual team members get connected with the clients. They understand the requirements of client and follow the action plan as per the requirement. In the second, in waterfall models, the SRS document is prepared. There are a number of documentation, what will be the course of action, what will be the different steps they have to follow. This is the comprehensive documentation. In Agile methodology, whereas we follow the working of the software, the development, the developing phase is the main focus. How can we develop this software? So in the third, the contract negotiation, we are negotiate upon these parameters, what we have written in the contracts. How the user can interact with the team members, and moreover, what are the main features provided by these product which will be delivered, and for how many years we provide you the services. Over this, the customer collaboration is the main key point in the Agile methodology. How the customer satisfaction is the main point. When we can deliver the early product to the customers. The customer is the main focus in the Agile methodologies. And the waterfall model, we are following a plan. What do you mean by plan? Plan is the phase. There are number of phases which we have discussed earlier, from the requirement phase to the design, then the implementation, and the testing phase. Here we are respond to the changes as we receive the changes from the team, from the client, and the testing team. We are respond to these changes. The course of action is totally different in the waterfall model and the Agile Manifesto. Next we are going to discuss the Agile Principles. First, there are 12 principles after the Agile Manifesto. 12 principles have been designed. The first principle is customer satisfaction by rapid delivery of useful software. As the Agile methodology, Agile software development process and the Agile methodologies are customer oriented, we are mainly focused on what the actually user need from these products. So we are focusing on the rapid delivery of that products, rapid delivery of that software. Welcome the changes requirement even the late in development. If any case the user forgot to tell us the team about the main features, they want some contact features in their products, they want these kind of features, some more latest trending features in their product, they can tell us. If we are following the Agile methodologies, they can tell us even after the designing phase or even after the development phase, because the Agile team is always welcome these requirements, always welcome these new changes, and try to implement these changes in their products. The third is working software is delivered frequently, weeks rather than months. The working software, we here the working software means a very small portion of that module, of this very small portion of that software which is working, through which we can ensure the client that they can start their working with these kind of modules. So the frequently, even after weeks, even after the client doesn't have to wait for the months for the new product, they can start with the softwares, the small portion, the small running part of these softwares, they can use these softwares. Closely daily cooperation between the business people and the developers. The business people and the developers, there should be one meeting between these people, so that we are able to understand the requirement of these products or the delivery of these products. So what is the current scenario of the project which we are handling this. So main feature is on these points. Projects are built around the motivated individuals who should be trusted, because the client is the main focus. So the projects team which is actually working on these projects should be the trusted team, the one who are able to handle these kind of change, this kind of pressure from the client, or they are welcome to handle these changes from the users. The person who have very technical knowledge about these methodology, about these agile software development process, they should be the part of the team. Face-to-face conversation is the best form of communication. We always welcome the client at our end, at where the product is actually developing, so that they can check, they can see the transparency, see the accuracy of these the product, the requirement which they have told us about the requirements. They can check that either we are delivering it right or we are developing in the correct phase or not. The seventh is the working software is the principal measure of the progress. We are not providing any kind of documentation. They can see the live running projects. From there, from these running projects, we can check the actually progress of the products. Sustainable development, able to maintain a constant pace. Constant pace is like if we are delivering the first module and the first portion of that product within the 2 or 3 weeks, it doesn't mean for the second it takes around 5 to 6 weeks. We should always deliver on a constant pace, so that the client requirement can satisfy within a time limit, and we can divide our time to the another projects also. Continuous attention to the technical excellence and good design. When we are choosing the right people for the projects, we are obviously about to maintain the correct design and the development approach for the projects. Simplicity, the art of maximizing the amount of work not done, is essential. The simplicity, the product is developing in this space, and what we have add into these products. So we are going to explain this to the client in a technical manner. It should be very simple so that they are able to understand what actually we have done under these progress reports. Self-organizing teams, the team should always manage their self. They have to divide their task, whatever time limit is given by their team leaders and the managers. They have to follow the timelines and organize their work as such. Regular adaptation to the changing circumstances. If they are facing some kind of issues and challenges, they should talk to their higher authorities and the leaders so that they provide good solution for these problems. The next, here I am discussing about the characteristics of the agile software development methodology, the main features about this methodology. It allows changes to be made better, initial planning, rewrite the program as the client decide to make changes as expected. The requirement phase can be rewrite, as this is the main point, main feature of the agile methodology, that requirements are not the fixed. As per the need of the client, we are changing these requirements. So we can rewrite the programs. If we have designed that particular module, we can rewrite that, and we can convince our team to rewrite that, because we are following this methodology. Because the agile methodology allows to make changes, it is easier to add feature and will keep you updated within the latest development of the industry. As I have told you earlier, if there are some new technology is coming as in the trend and the user want this particular system to implement in these technologies, so it is always welcome by the team. So we can implement these technologies, we can make it changes and add the new features in the product. It will obviously make it very impactful that we are providing the customer that particular product which they actually want, and which it's very beneficial for the customer also. At the end of each sprint, project priorities are always evaluated. Here, the sprint is the time limit. When we talk about the sprint is the very short span of time. Like it can be a 2 week, it can be a 3 week. Within a short span of time, the product should be delivered. This allows the clients to add their feedback. We are inviting clients to add their end and to check after 2 or 3 weeks what we have actually developed as per the requirement. If they are not comfortable with the developing and with the output of that products, they are welcome to tell the changes what we have to do with these products, and we are implementing and incorporate these kind of feedback and the features in the product to make it more effective. The fourth benefit is the testing at the end of each sprint ensure that the bugs are caught and taken care in the development cycle. They would not be found at the end. Every 2 or 3 week, after end of every sprint, we have to check the execution of these development phase and make it sure that there are no bugs in this software or the module which we are going to deliver to the client. If there are some kind of modules and the bugs, we have to ensure the developing team that these bugs should not be there at the end, at the final delivery of the product. Because the products are tested so thoroughly with Agile, the products could be launched at the end of any cycle. As a result, it is more likely to reach the launch date earlier, or within time limit. There we are avoiding the delay in the launching of the product. When we are delivering, when we are keeping this thing in mind that we have to deliver a small product even after the each sprint, each after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, then we are assuring that we will deliver the final product within the time limit. Not there should not be any chance of delay. Then I'm going to discuss the benefits, agile software development benefits. The first is manage the changes more effectively and efficiently, because we are working with the small iteration, we are following that, we are implementing the changes. That means we need some requirement from the client, we need some updated requirement, and we prioritize the thing, what changes we have to done at which stage. If they want some changes at the earliest, even in the first module which we are going to deliver, we have to prioritize the things, and according to that our team have to be active. Second one is the improved customer engagement. The client should be always involved in this development process. There are some role of these clients also, because when we are prioritizing prioritizing the need of the customer, because on the basis of prioritizing we are developing the product. So the client involvement is there, and if they want something in the next sprint, then we have to prioritize it with the high priority. We have to handle that challenges and the new features, and we are involving the customers. Without the involvement of the customers, we are not going to decide which module we have to delivered earliest, and which portion, which topic or the which part of the module or the project can be delivered after some time. So whatever the need of the customer, as per the need of the customer, we can prioritize the things. Third one is the focus on the high priorities first. We have to make the decision, and it's tough to keep it all straight. Your backlog become the ultimate prioritized routine things that lives out in open for all to see. We have to prioritize as per the customer requirement. If the customer want a product which is for the transaction purposes, they don't want some sites for the displaying some kind of images, they just want some simple website for the transaction purposes. This is the small portion of their module. So we are providing this module, this particular product feature to the client at earliest, because they required it the most. Other features can be added at the later stage, but this is the main feature of their product. Increase the productivity. As the agile make better use of all resources, we are providing it faster, we are delivering the product at faster. It will also increase the productivity of that particular product. The team is going to deliver it at earliest without any delay. We are always focused on the refactoring and moving forward. They would not be sitting idle waiting for the work during the discovery and the design phase. As in the waterfall model, the testing phase, the person who was tester have to wait for the design phase to be completed, the development phase has to be completed. But in this, what we are actually doing, we are not sitting at free, because each cycle shows the involvement of every team member in that delivery of that particular project. The next is product owner feedback, which is very important for the agile methodology, as it is possible for you to provide the feedback before, during and after each one. The collaboration between the developing team and the customer is the actual coordination where the product can be delivered earlier. Because if we are going on the wrong track, and the client is the only one who can guide us what I actually want with the product. Maybe there are some misunderstanding about the requirement of the product, and we can clear it with the client only, so they can clear the picture what is the actual business goal in their mind, why they want these products, Okay, they can correct it. The next is the highly collaborative environment. There are some interaction between the clients and the customers and the team members. The team member can directly approach to the customer for the clarification, even after delivering the first sprint, even after delivering the product. After 2 or 3 weeks, they can get some clarification for each matter. They are optimizing each person's subject matter expertising, and the project rely on acknowledging. The success is depending upon who is actually handling the project. The team member who are involved in these projects are the part of their project. The project delivery is totally depending upon this. So if the environment is very collaborative, the client and the team members are working in the collaboration, the product will be good and deliver within time. The visibility, the agile lets you see and become the intimately familiar with the product from the inception to the completion, while watching the application grow. How you can provide the feedback as it progress. We can in the agile methodology we can see the transparency, the visibility of the development of these products, the feedback the clients provide us in a progressive way. The accuracy, after a sprint the team will know their velocity. This allows us for the better planning, the future. Maybe we have during the agile methodology the team has done some mistake in the first portion, the first module they have delivered, so they can improve it in the future delivery of the products, or in the coming scenario where they have to handle some another projects also. Key features first. Agile allow us to prioritize, focus on the items that provide the biggest impact to business to provide the value faster. The major key feature is to prioritize the client first, understand the requirement of the client and prioritize it from the high to low. Which portion, which module contains the high priority for the client, we have to handle these portion and have to handle these priorities first, then we can handle the low priority portion. The 10th is the agree on the clear definition. Here in this agile methodology, in the agile framework, the word ready or the word done is the most important, because when we are working on this, we said that this module, this particular portion we have done this. The word done is like we have done with all the design, development and the testing phase. We have this product for the delivery. That means we are not going to change there is no need to change that product. We have done the complete testing phase and we are going to just deliver that product. So it is very clear when we are saying that done, it is done, this particular module is done. That means we are going to just deliver to the client. Improve the transparency. Agile is a very highly transparent, because every stakeholder knows what is going on. There are number of boards is implemented. There are two major frameworks, Scrum framework and the Kanban framework, where the boards are implemented. On these boards, the boards are partitioned into 4 lanes. This is showing us the particular portion. Either we are done with the testing portion, or we have done with the designing portion, or we have done with the developing portion. So we write there as a done, right? We have done with these modules. So this is representing a clear transparency that which module we have covered. So we are not here hide anything from anybody. We in the team members, whoever is the team member is know what is the growth of this particular project. So this is improving, the entire team understands the big picture. Projects tend to move forward and faster. So these 11 benefits we have discussed. In today's lecture, we have studied about the agile methodology. We are trying to understand why we need this agile methodology, what is the difference between the traditional framework and the agile software development process, the main focus and the main feature of the agile software development process is to prioritize the things what the actually client need. We always welcome the requirement from the client and we prioritize the thing as per the client need. We can change at any stage of developing. We can add the new features as per the client requirement. So the main focus is the delivery of the product, the accuracy, the transparency. All these features are the part of the agile software development.